The calm before the storm. From where I sat on the bridge, space stretched out before me like an endless canvas, painted in the deepest shade of midnight. Little pinpricks of light, stars from far-off galaxies, were the only things that kept this vast sea from being a void of impenetrable darkness. Among them, faintly shimmering like treacherous mirages in the desert, were the Drac behemoths. As I looked at them, a knot of anxiety tightened in my chest. But this wasn't just about Orinthia or my own pride. The weight on my shoulders was far heavier than that. This was about every planet, every being, every soul that called the Federation home. I could feel the very essence of our union, our camaraderie, our shared dreams, and our collective willpower. We had lived in harmony, championing the values of freedom and unity, and these behemoths threatened to shatter it all. I tried to steady my breathing, drawing in the cold, sterile air of the ship's bridge. My fingers tapped lightly against the armrest of my command chair, a rhythm of uncertainty. There was something deeply unnerving about the calmness, about the stillness of this moment. It felt like the world held its breath, waiting for the storm that was about to unfold. Suddenly, the contemplative silence was interrupted by a series of beeps, the signals. Proximity alerts indicating the Drac fleet was nearing our position. A glance at the tactical display confirmed their approach, their massive signatures impossible to miss. The reality of the confrontation ahead came crashing down on me. This wasn't just another skirmish or a routine patrol encounter. This was war, and I had to lead the Federation's defense. Taking a deep breath, I stood up from my chair, feeling its cold embrace leave my back. "All hands," I announced, my voice resonating throughout the ship. "Prepare for engagement." I took a moment to look around the bridge, locking eyes with each of my officers. They too understood the gravity of the situation. But there was also a spark in their eyes, a fire that reflected determination, trust, and an unwavering belief in our cause. Gathering myself, I continued, "I won't lie to you. What lies ahead will test us in ways we've never imagined. We face an enemy that's relentless, cunning, and unlike any other. But remember, we are the Federation. We've faced adversity before and emerged stronger each time. Today will be no different." I paused, letting my words sink in. The Drac may have numbers, they may have behemoths, but we have something they'll never understand: unity. We fight not as separate ships, not as individuals, but as a collective, bound by a shared purpose. We fight for our homes, for our loved ones, and for the values that define us. A chorus of affirmations rang out across the bridge, echoing my sentiments. "We engage on my mark," I declared, feeling the rush of adrenaline. "Positions everyone, and may the stars guide us to victory." The vastness of space that once felt daunting now felt like an arena, a stage where our destiny would be decided. The calm was about to give way to the storm, and I, Zorvan, would lead the charge. The opening salvo. The vastness of space became alive with motion and energy as our ships, like orchestrated dancers, took their designated positions. From my command post, I could oversee this dance, a deadly ballet in the theater of war. The humming of the engines, the soft glow of our shield generators, the chatter of commanders over the comms, it was all an elaborate symphony before the storm. There it was, the previously damaged Drac ship from our last dance. It had a distinct scar, a cruel reminder of the damage we inflicted, and a testament to its resilience. But that very scar also marked its vulnerability, making it the prime target for our opening salvo. "Lock onto the damaged behemoth," I ordered crisply, the memory of our last encounter flashing briefly in my mind. "We strike where they're weak, and we strike hard." My tactical officer, Commander Thess, quickly responded,
"Target locked, General. Awaiting your command."
The ship's weapon systems hummed with lethal potential. I could feel it, the power, the anticipation, the rush of leading the charge. As we approached, every second felt elongated, a mix of anxiety and excitement. "Fire!" The word escaped my lips, echoing with determination. The space around us erupted into a brilliant display of energy beams, projectiles, and roaring engines. Our ships moved in a coordinated assault, striking the damaged Drac behemoth from multiple angles. Each hit was a symphony of light and force, and with every impact, I felt a surge of hope. The climax came in a blinding burst of light as the ship's core detonated. An exhilarating sensation coursed through me, watching the behemoth fracture into countless pieces. The sight of that once imposing vessel being reduced to cosmic dust was a spectacle, one that I hoped would echo across the galaxy. The bridge erupted in cheers. The initial victory, the first blow had been dealt, and it was ours. I allowed myself a moment, just a fleeting one, to savor the triumph. But amidst the celebration, my strategic mind kicked in, analyzing the situation and weighing the challenges that lay ahead. 4 more behemoths loomed in the distance, their menacing silhouettes stark against the backdrop of Orinthia. "Steady, crew," I voiced, letting the weight of my words dampen the premature elation. "That was just the first. We have more adversaries ahead, and we need to be prepared." Looking out, I saw the remaining Drac behemoths adjusting their formation, clearly realizing the threat we posed. They were not to be underestimated. Their colossal size, their advanced tech, and their ruthless tactics made them formidable adversaries. But we had something they didn't: unity, strategy, and the heart of the Federation beating within each of us. "We took down one," I said with resolve, addressing the crew. "We can and will take down the rest. All ships adjust formation. Let's employ the jamming strategy on their primary weapons. Commander Thess, ready the interference pulse." The battle had only just begun, and while we had drawn the first blood, the real challenge lay ahead. Yet with every strike, every maneuver, and every decision, I was reminded of the strength and unity of the Federation fleet. As the distance between us and the remaining Drac behemoths closed, I knew this would be a battle for the ages, a defining moment not just for me, Zorvan, but for the entire Federation. The heart of the battle. The vastness of space became an intricate chessboard, and as the Federation fleet danced in deadly synchrony with the Drac behemoths, each move was a calculated gambit. The darkness lit up with the iridescence of energy beams and explosions, painting a macabre tapestry of war. I leaned forward, my eyes scanning the battlefield, absorbing every detail, every movement. "Deploy the jamming device on their primary weapon systems," I ordered, hoping to exploit the vulnerability we had recently uncovered. As the device was launched, a tense silence settled over the bridge. We all waited with bated breath, hoping for even a momentary lapse in the Drac's formidable offense. The initial results were promising, the pulsating energy from the jammer causing a brief interruption in their firing sequence. "We have a window. All ships, focus fire on the second behemoth's left flank," I commanded, seizing the moment. The fleet responded with unmatched precision, beams converging on the targeted area. But space battles are seldom straightforward. The jammer's effect began to wane faster than anticipated, and soon the Drac's weapon systems roared back to life. I felt a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach as a brilliant beam from one of the behemoths pierced through the void and struck one of our cruisers. The resulting explosion was both mesmerizing and heart-wrenching. "Evacuate the ship," I screamed, hoping against hope that some could be saved from the doomed vessel. Every loss stung deeply, a sharp reminder of the price of this war. But amidst the chaos and despair, moments of hope shone through. Intercepted Drac communications revealed their surprise and frustration. They hadn't expected this level of resistance, and it was clear our strategies were taking a toll. A smirk formed on my lips. "We have them rattled. Stay the course and maintain formation. Let's give them a fight they'll never forget." With renewed vigor, the fleet pressed on, making strategic advances and retreats. As ships darted about, leaving streaks of light in their wake, I found myself constantly adapting, rethinking strategies on the fly. My tactical overlay became a frenzied dance of shifting vectors and projected outcomes. Amidst the turmoil, a voice broke through.
"General, we've punched through the defenses of the third behemoth."
I looked up just in time to see a series of torpedoes striking the behemoth's core. It erupted in a brilliant display, a sun born and extinguished in mere moments. Another behemoth down, but at what cost? The debris from the explosion impacted 2 of our frigates, causing significant damage. Breathing heavily, I gripped the armrests of my command chair. The tide was turning, but this battle was far from over. Each victory was paired with a bitter reminder of its cost. "We push on," I whispered to myself, unwilling to let despair take root. We had come too far, lost too much to waver now. "All ships regroup and prepare for another strike. We have the momentum. Let's keep it." As the Federation fleet reformed its lines, I took a moment to reflect. I felt the weight of every decision, every command. But there was also a fire within, a resolve forged from battles past, and the hope of a future free from the shadow of the Drac. In the midst of the swirling chaos of battle, I remained a beacon for the fleet, guiding them through the storm, ever onward, ever forward. The final push. The vast expanse around us crackled with energy, residual shock waves of our fierce combat against the Drac. With two behemoths still threatening, I knew it was time to employ a tactic I'd been holding in reserve. Focus all available firepower on the nearest behemoth, I commanded, my voice steely. Then use the EMP charges. The bridge crew exchanged glances, surprised. We had rarely used EMP in open space combat due to its unpredictable nature, but desperate times called for desperate measures. I could sense the unspoken question from the crew. Are we sure about this? But trust prevailed. They had seen the odds we had overcome so far. The first salvo of fire was a sight to behold. Federation ships moving in orchestrated patterns unleashed a barrage on the Drac behemoth, targeting its weak points. As the behemoth reeled from the assault, a squadron of our fighters swooped in, dropping the EMP charges right onto its exposed sections. The resulting electromagnetic pulse sent a cascading shock through the behemoth, causing it to falter and go dark. A hush of disbelief fell over the bridge. It had worked. Press the advantage. All ships fire at will, I shouted. The behemoth, devoid of its shields, was soon consumed in a storm of explosions, fragmenting into countless pieces that glittered like a deadly rain. Cheers erupted around me, but my eyes were fixed on the last behemoth. It too had seen the fate of its kin and was now making hasty preparations.
It's trying to make a jump to hyperspace,
My navigation officer warned. We couldn't let it escape. The knowledge it carried, the strategies it had witnessed, could arm the Drac with valuable intel. All available units, intercept and disable its jump drives, I bellowed. What ensued was a frenzied race against time. Squadrons zoomed towards the behemoth, dodging its defensive fire, and trying to get close enough to deliver crippling shots to its engines. Every moment stretched, seconds feeling like hours. On the view screen, the behemoth's engines glowed brighter, signaling its imminent departure. No, I whispered, feeling the weight of the situation. If it escaped, our victory, as monumental as it was, would be overshadowed by the implications of a behemoth carrying our tactics back to the Drac reinforcements. And then, in a flash of light and energy, the behemoth was gone, vanished into the ether of hyperspace. The bridge, moments ago a hubbub of activity, sank into a heavy silence. We had won the day, but at a cost. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the galaxy on my shoulders. Record the battle data, analyze the jump vector. We need to be prepared for what's coming next, I said with a solemn tone. Celebratory cheers from the fleet's communication channels echoed around us. We had achieved a significant victory, but the war was far from over. The lone escaping behemoth would surely relay our tactics to the Drac War Council, making our future encounters even more challenging. But for now, amidst the debris of a hard-fought battle, there was a moment of triumph, a brief respite for the brave souls of the 8th Federation Fleet. Looking out into the vastness of space, the stars beyond twinkling with distant promise, I felt a mix of pride and trepidation. The universe awaited, and we had sent a clear message. The Federation would stand tall, no matter the odds.
Several light years away, near the fringes of the Viserion Nebula, the stealth ship charted its course. While Zorvan and the 8th Fleet were locked in their celestial dance with the Drac behemoths, here on the other side of known space, a different story was unfolding, one of secrecy, resilience, and a desperate hope. As the ship skirted the edges of the Viserion Nebula, a soft pink and gold hue painted the vast canvas of space, casting ephemeral shadows within the ship's cabin. The nebula's density scattered their sensors, causing the displays to flicker with distorted readings. Lyra focused intently on the engines, ensuring the stealth drive remained optimal.
You sure about these coordinates, Arlen?
She questioned, her eyes never leaving her console.
They were accurate when last we spoke.
Arlon responded, his tone even, but the underlying anxiety was unmistakable. Rice, hands firmly gripping the ship's controls, maneuvered the vessel with precision, each turn and twist designed to elude potential Drac patrols.
"It's quiet,"
he murmured.
"Too quiet."
Lithia, immersing herself in old communication records, looked up.
"I've intercepted a faint transmission. It's encrypted but bears a resemblance to the rebel codes."
On decryption, a hushed voice emerged.
"To all free souls, rendezvous at Alpha Point. Evade the behemoth's gaze."
Arlen's face lit up with recognition.
It's them. Alpha Point is a pre-designated secret meeting spot.
He rapidly fed the new coordinates into the navigation system. As they neared the location, the silhouette of a makeshift space station emerged from the nebula's haze. It was a patchwork of various ships bolted together to form a sanctuary in the void. Small fighters zipped around it, while larger vessels docked, delivering supplies and personnel.
"They've built a haven in the heart of danger,"
Lithia whispered, admiration evident in her voice. As their ship approached, a transmission hailed them.
"Identify yourselves."
A stern voice demanded.
"We come on behalf of Prince Arlen. He's on board our ship."
Rice replied, glancing towards the prince. There was a momentary pause before the voice returned, softer now.
"Welcome home, Your Highness."
The stealth ship slowly docked amidst cheers and salutes. This rebel base, pulsating with life and hope, was a testament to resilience. It was a reminder that even in the darkest recesses of space, unity could forge light. Arlen stepped out first, welcomed by familiar faces and tight embraces. The others followed, each step reinforcing the importance of their journey. They had found the rebels, and in doing so, strengthened the beacon of resistance against the looming Drac menace.